Hi, welcome again. I'm Willem Larsen, an instructor with Fernando Morera's Professional Tracking Services. And once again, we're playing around in my garage in the sandbox. So the idea here, and what we'll be playing with today, is we're going to take our old trusty block. And what we're going to do is we're going to start making predictions. So the best way to get a handle on what actions, what pressures generated by a track making object, let's say, what are created is by playing this little game. And we're going to call it a test-driven tracking. So what I want you to do is decide the movement you're going to make with your block, your shoe you could grab any object you want, and you're going to, for example, you're going to put it into the box. You're going to pretend it's making some normal action, right? And you're going to lift it up and away, right? So I'm going to pretend that this block is a human foot making a step, and this is going to make things really simple. Now, of course, later you can use your actual foot, somebody else's foot, and you could ask them to make a certain movement on the box and look at it afterwards. But this way is so simple, so controlled, so easy. It's a great way to get started. So I've made my action. So what I want to do before I make the action in the box is I want to predict the structures that it will create. Even better, grab a clipboard, grab a pencil, draw what you think it's going to create, and then do the action, and then see how close you were, right? This is a really powerful way to tune your eyes and tune your understanding of how soil deforms under pressure. And if we go back to our opposites game, right? I stepped in, imagine this is the heel, this is the toe, I stepped into the box, and then as I was lifting up, I turned and I exited the box, right? Well, what if we do it, so what I can say now, I know exactly what that looks like, and I can do the opposite version of that and make a perfect prediction, right? If I step into the box like this, I pivot as I'm lifting up the heel, and then I lift out. I'm going to make that opposite effect. So we're going to look at this. We're going to go, okay, there's depth in the heel. There's a little nudge right here, a little ridging. There's a rollover, right, from heel into the toe area of the block. And then clearly as I began to lift the heel, I pivoted. This is the pivot point because I've generated this high ridging, this mounding, this plate formation. And as I turned, I dug in on the right side of the foot, right? Because there's a greatest depth here and a pushing forward. There's a shear line rippling outwards, so I'll just do that. So that is what my prediction that I'm going to create on the other side. Now, of course, this is obvious, right? I just made it, but it's a way of thinking about how you're going to make your predictions, the kind of things you're going to describe beforehand. But the best way is to start making those actions. Roll over, lifting the heel, turning. There we go. We have it on the opposite side. The only difference is that there's a little less mounding, right? And that's actually because there was more digging in and downwards on this one. So I've just learned a little, right? I've learned a little about what the different pressures create. Here those tracks are up close, just so you can get a sense of what they look like. Look at how expressive substrates are. So it's not just wet compact sand that does this. Every substrate is going to have its own personality and is going to behave in its own way. I mean, these are really cool looking tracks. So once again, this has been Willem Larsen with Fernando Morera's Professional Tracking Services. Hope you've enjoyed playing around in the sandbox.